Okay, so hope that the Angular programs are working on your system, right? So for the Angular material, I will provide the PPT that I'm covering in the class, as well as you can refer to the official documentation. So you can go to the official documentation. There you will find tutorials and examples, as well as the detailed explanation of all the concepts that we are covering in the class. So both the things you can refer for preparing the Angular, right? So the official website is angular.io, right? You can visit the official website and you can refer to the documentation. So there you will find an excellent documentation available along with the examples, concepts, and all the detailed concepts are available there. Okay, and because in the slide you will not find a lot of theory, but if you want to refer to the detailed theory, you can refer to the documentation. So can you quickly recap what we have learned in the last lecture? What were the topic that you have discussed during the last lab or lecture? Okay, find services. How to create services in Angular? What is the command to create services? Component, right? Correct. It is ng generate service followed by the service name. Correct. How to use the services in our Angular component? In class and specifically? How we can get the instance of the service? Correct. It is through the dependency injection. But how do we get the instance of the service? And who will create it? If I want to use the service, I need to create the instance of the service, and I can use that service using the object. Correct. It is not, we cannot create the instance ourselves. It is created by the Angular. And where do we get the reference of the service? Within the constructor. Okay. in the component constructor, we need to define the service reference, and it will be automatically created by the Angular dependency injection framework, and it will be passed as the reference. And we can initialize in the ng on init, but it is, if you want to initialize with the local variable, then we can use it in the ng on init, but it is available as part of the component constructor. Okay, how to use the component? If I want to use Angular component, how to use it? Because in an Angular, we can create multiple components. Correct, it is using selectors. Okay. Using selector, we can use the component. What is the default component in Angular? Correct, it is app component, and it is also called as the root component. Can we change the name of the app root component? Yes, we can do so. And in which file we have to change the name of the root component or any component? In index.html file, we are referring the component. We cannot change the name of the component in the index.html file. If I want to change the name of the component, where can we change? Yes, it is in the component file itself, the app component.typescript file. Yes, it is specifically we have to change the selector. If you change the selector name and if you are referring to the old name, it is not going to work. Okay, you will get a blank screen in your browser. Anything else that we have learned in the last lecture or lab? Okay, let me share my screen. We'll continue with few more topics. And this is the code wherein we can get the student list. We can use it to iterate through the lists. And this double braces notation is called interpolation in Angular. So HTML and the dynamic content together. And the similar concept you have already learned in JSP. I think you are familiar with this concept. In JSP, you can see that you can combine the variable and HTML. You can and create a final HTML file, right? So here you can see that we can dynamically this interpolation. We can also have some valid JavaScript code also. So you can simply write down say 2 plus 2 or kind of thing. It may be due to the network speed. If you are not getting the clear voice, it may be due to the network issue. Okay. Any doubt so far? You can ask your question is this Angular CLI utility will generate the template, and within the template we have to write down our code. So this is a very simple example in which there is a static list of students, and there is one method called get student list which will return this list. And later on this, you can extend it that you can fetch the data from the server. The student list will dynamically come from the server. So for that, you can use the fetch API available in the W3C standard. Then you can use the AJAX, or you can use some library packages to invoke the API, REST API. Normally, it is called HTTP client. Any library which can talk the HTTP protocol is called the HTTP client. So basically, there is a okay. Let me use the audio of my mobile because there is some issue with the network available on the lab. Now, am I audible? Okay. So we have service, then we have the component. Within the component, using the dependency injection, we are using the service, and then within the view, that is the HTML file, we are rendering the student data. Okay. Now, next we will create our own component and we'll see how to use our custom component. So by default, we have the app component available when you scaffold your project via the Angular command, ng new project name, right? Now, this command is similar to how to create the services. So I'm using the shorthand notation. Otherwise, you can use the long form also, ng generate component followed by the name of the component. So you can try this command on your system. On go to the terminal, Visual Studio Code terminal, and then you can run this command and let me know which files are created by this command. In the chat box, you write down the files created by this command. Correct. It will create 4 files. For every component, this Angular CLI will create 4 files. One is the component file, that is a TypeScript file. Second is the your view, that is HTML and CSS file, and one more spec file that is for testing or unit testing the component. Right now we are ignoring that file. Even if it is not required, you can remove the file. But right now we are not testing it. And does it create a folder for that? Okay. So it will create a test folder. And within that, it will create this 4 file. And this test folder is created under the source directory. Right? So there is a SRC directory. Within that, it will create this test directory and those 4 files. So you can see that how well it is organized. You can easily identify your component, how many components are there, and you can modify the code. Okay. Now, in the screen, you can see that there is a note that within the app module file, this is the root module, an entry will be made for this test component. So by default, this Angular CLI will make an entry into that module that now this root module is consisting of one more component. If you remember the introductory discussion that our module is consisting of components as well as services, right? So if we are creating our new component, then it should become part of our original module. So this we are making it as part of the app module. So if you wish, you can see that you can you can open the module file, app.module TypeScript file, and you will see that it will refer to now one more component called test component. So just check and let me know where this entry is made. So in app module, it will make an entry, but so just let me know in the chat box where the entry will be made. Right, it is correct, but within the app module file, where the entry will be made. So right now we are using Angular CLI utility, but otherwise we can create the component ourselves. Correct, it is within the ng module decorator. Okay, and within the ng module there are 4 sections. If you closely look at, there are mainly 4 sections. So these 4 sections we have discussed in the last class. Declaration section, then we have import section, provider, and bootstrap. So what are the purpose of each section? Do you remember? Declaration section. Correct. It is declaring the components. That means this module is using this many or this set of components. So an entry of test component will be made into the declaration part in the ng module annotation. Then what is the purpose of import section? So these are implementation part, but we need to understand from the concept viewpoint. What is the purpose of each part? So there is one section for declaration, second is for import section. Import section is for if this current module is dependent on some another module, then we have to use the import section. Okay. So you can see that in your code, there is a browser module or forms module kind of thing maybe there. So existing module is dependent on some another module, some another, and that another module may be having their own components and services. Is it clear? Then we have provider section. So and then we have bootstrap section. And right now in the app module, we will have only one component, because if there are multiple components, there must be only one root component. If you remember, there is a tree hierarchy. In the slide, we have seen that components are organized into the tree hierarchy. And in the tree hierarchy, you know that there is only always a single root component or single root node. So here it is, they are components. So there is always a single component, which is called the root component. For this case, when we scaffold the project, there will be one root module and one root component. So root component name is app component. Okay, there is a question. What is the question? Let me check. In the provider section, there will be a set of services. Okay, you can insert into the module. So we'll see when we are discuss the services in more detail, we'll see that how to use the services. Right now, we have not discussed into the much detail, but there are 3 different ways in which services can be used. Okay, and there are 3 different scope of using the services. But right now, whether to use it within the module or can it be accessible outside the module, or it is restricted to one particular component. So again, we'll see into the more detail. There are 3 different ways to use the services. So we'll see that when we cover the services into the more detail. Okay, fine. So let us continue with our slide. Okay, fine. Now can you open this test component file? So the default code will be there. So default code will have the name of the selector would be test. So as a template, we can specify either the inline HTML or external HTML. Right now, you will see the external HTML. In your code, the default code generated will refer to the external HTML, but we can replace that with the inline template. So there are 2 keywords as part of the component decorate. One is template URL and second is template. Okay, so that we have seen in the last lecture. So here you can see that in the slide, we have modified the code. Instead of referring to the external HTML, we are writing the template. So you can comment the default code, template URL, and just write down this code so that we are going to use this component in our file. Currently, selector is app test. You can also replace it with simple test, or some another name can also be given. Right now, for example purpose, we are going for simple example, single 1-line, 2-line example, but then you will have full-fledged HTML file as an external HTML. And right now we are not styling our view, but as we have seen in the last lecture that you can easily write down the CSS within the CSS, and then you can apply the styles to the HTML referred by the template style, a template URL. So here within the template, you have simple div. There is one div, or you can replace it with H1, H2, whatever you want. And this is a single line HTML. That's why I'm using double quote. But if you want to use multi-line HTML, then what should we use? Correct. Backtick character should be used. You have to place the entire string within the backtick character. Correct. Now see that we have created the component, but we have to use it. So where should we use it? Should we use it in the index.html? Component is ready now. Okay, you can see that component has view. And right now, the logic part, we are not writing anything. Later on, we can extend it. If you remember how these components are organized, how these components, multiple components are organized in Angular in the hierarchical or tree structure. So app component is at the root, and then within the root, we can have multiple components. So we have to refer to this new component within our app component. Clear? We should not refer it to the index.html. Okay. So remember the tree hierarchy. There is an app component, and app component can have multiple children components, and those components can in turn may have children components. So that way you have to create the component hierarchy. Okay. So again, you can see in this slide, I have specifically mentioned that instead of multi-line HTML, you can use the backtick character. So you can spread this HTML onto the multiple lines. I hope that I am not going too slow. If you think so, you can just tell me that I should go fast. Okay. And we know that this is a element selector because this is a simple selector name that we can refer to in another HTML file. Now we have to refer this selector within the app components view. So see that in app component HTML file, we are now referring to the test component. And whenever we are referring any component, we have to use the selector. So right now it is a simple selector. It is some network issue. The screen sharing was stopped. So now modify this app component HTML file. If in your code this you are referring to the inline template, then you have to make change in the inline template. Is it clear where to make change? If in your component, if you are referring to the external HTML, then you have to modify the external HTML. But if you are using the inline template, then you have to modify the inline template code. For the example purposes, most of the time I'm using the inline template so that you can easily modify the code in the same file. You need not refer to the multiple file. But when you are actually implementing your project, you will be definitely referring to the external HTML. So the next question is, can we use multiple component? Okay, once again, the screen is stopped. Even the connection is lost from my side on my laptop. Okay, I'm reconnected. I will once again share my screen. Okay, if you are getting error, just check that there is a missing double quote or something. Missing double quote or missing quote, comma. Just check that if you are getting an error. Okay, this backtick character will work in the template file within the component file. Not in template URL. In template URL, we are referring to the external file. But when you are using the template keyword, we are referring to the inline template. Just see the slide. You can see that in the component decoration, there are three parts: selector part, template, and style. Okay, so template can be either template or template URL. When we are writing template URL, we are referring to the external HTML. And for example purpose, we are using the template, which is 1 or 2, 3 line code, HTML code for testing purpose. Because once this code is working, you can replace it with your entire HTML file. Okay, I forgot what did I ask? Okay, yeah, I remember. What was the question? That can I use multiple component within this app component? Yes or no? Should I repeat the question? That there is an app component, which is the root component. Can I use multiple component? Okay, the answer you are saying is yes. And that's correct. We can use multiple component. So what is the procedure for creating and using multiple component? For creating component, we can use the command ng-generate. Okay. Using ng-generate command, you can create as many component as you want. And how to use the component? Yes, because for every component, there is a selector. Is it clear? Every component can be uniquely identified by its own selector. So that selector we have to refer to in our app component HTML file. So you can refer to this slide. Just go to the slide. See that within the slide, there is an HTML of the app component. Okay. This is a view part of the app component. And within there, we are referring to the taste component. So now you can see there is a relationship, parent-child relationship. Which is the parent component and which is the child component? Correct. App component is the parent component and taste is the child component. So if we are creating another component, say instead of taste, I'm creating say student component. Okay. And then if I want to refer to this in our parent component, then simply write down the selector within the app component. Everybody getting or not? If not, I will repeat. Okay. So don't worry, you can ask the question. If it is not clear, just type in your question in the chat box or simply say repeat, then I will try to repeat this. Okay, there is no special way of running the taste component. Basically, what is happening, you can see in the slide that there is an HTML of the app component. So what it will display? Can you guess the output? It is welcome to title. So title, basically interpolation, that will be replaced by the string or the value. Okay. So title will be replaced by whatever the string that we have written in our component TypeScript file or class file. So basically it will welcome to say Angular. Title is, I am assuming title equal to Angular string. So it will at runtime, it will replace the interpolation with the actual string. So welcome to title followed by app test, and app test, there is no such HTML tag. There is no standard HTML tag called app tag. So app test, sorry. So this app test would be replaced by what? The view of the test component. Correct, it is view. Okay, so the app test would be replaced by the view of the test component. And what is the view of the test component? Either it is inline template or external template. Sorry, external HTML file, right? So now is it clear? What should be the output you should get? Everybody getting the output? Please run your project and see that the output is something like welcome to Angular. So I am assume that title is a very property created within the your component class and initialized with the string Angular. So today what we have learned, how to create the component, use it in our existing project. And now you can try it creating multiple component and refer the selector within your app component, and then you will see the output. So basically you are combining the multiple view. So now we can see that our HTML page is divided into multiple section. Remember what are the different section of your page? Normally page is divided into multiple sections. What are those different sections? Correct. It is header, footer. Then you can have sidebar. Okay, navigation bar. Okay, the main content section, or you have images, then multiple images, tables. So for each one, you create one component. For navigation bar, you create one component. For example, in this slide, you can see that taste component. Taste component will render the navigation bar, so that use it in your view in app component. So what will happen at runtime? You will get the navigation bar. Then you can create another component for sidebar. Then sidebar can be inserted in your app component. So you will get that combined view of navigation bar and the sidebar, and then main content you create a third component, and so forth. Are you getting the flow? Basically, once you understand this flow, then you can use it in your project easily. The architecture and flow should become clear in the Angular. The rest of the thing is simply HTML code, and that you already know. Okay, HTML, CSS, you are very well know. Okay. Okay, we can also tweak with the selector. Right now we are using the element selector, but you can also change it to class selector. So within the taste component, you can see that selector I'm changing from app taste to dot app taste. So that means now I'm using the class selector instead of the element selector. So you can simply modify this. But when we are using the class selector, that selector can be used as a class attribute of HTML element only. So there is only one minor change into the trace component. The selector part is modified. You can see in the slide I'm modifying the selector, and then within the app component I'm referring to the app taste class. So see the change in the component, app component. Previously we were using it as a class. I hope that you are doing it on your system. I expect that you also follow these steps on your system, because these are some very small code I'm displaying. It will not take much time to write down this code, because most of the code is generated. Boilerplate code is generated by the Angular CLI, and you have to make some minor your typing speed by following some online typing tutorial. Or for example purpose, you simply write down very simple code like div and example div, and that's it. A single line code. I don't think it will take much time to type in this much code. I hope that. Uh, so you can ask your question, your doubt. What is your doubt, Priyank? What we have seen today is creating our custom component and using it. So the first step is to create the component via the Angular CLI command, ng generate component. Second is we have to use it in our component file using the selector. Okay, so where to put this app test? Okay, this should be used in the view of the root component. So let me show you that part. This is the slide. test is the child component. Let me make it clear. Test is the child component. It should be used in the parent component. It cannot be reversed. Child cannot refer to the parent, but parent can refer to the child. As you know, in the tree hierarchy, always the root parent node is referring to the children node. Okay, we cannot have a pointer from child to no parent usually. So here, app component is the parent component. So within the parent component, we can refer to the child component. So where to refer it? Within the view. And view is nothing but either it is an inline template or external template file. So please ask the question. If you find any difficulty, ask the question immediately. Otherwise, I think that all of you are getting this because many of you are getting the answer or the expected output. Even you can right now ignore that style part which is used in the div. Okay. For testing purpose, you can just ignore in the slide. You can see that styling is applied. But if you want to quickly run the example, you can ignore that part. The important part is simply referring to the new component or the child component. So that is we need to learn today. That creating a custom component and then we can refer it in on the parent component. And I hope that similarly you can create the multiple child component and then all of them can be referred in your parent component. So suppose I have created student component, then simply write down app student tag within the app component.html file. So below this app test, you can write down the student app dash student tag, opening and closing tag. Yes, it is possible to create multiple web page and we can have a redirection from one page to another. And that concept is called routing in the Angular and many of the other frameworks. So when we'll cover the routing, we'll see that how to move from one page to another. Okay, we have a separate lecture on routing. So don't miss that lecture. It is important lecture. So we'll require a complete lecture or maybe one and a half lecture or two if we cover more examples. So there is a special lecture on routing and in that lecture we will cover the entire this thing part, redirecting from one page to another. Right now we are not doing that. These are simple web pages that we are referring to in our home page. Yes. Any other question? Okay. And then we have used the class component. You can refer to it as a class attribute. And finally, you can see that we are using the class selector. There is one more selector called attribute selector in the Angular. So simply place your selector within the square bracket. So see the syntax part of it. Okay, let me finish this. Just you try this example. We are using this attribute selector in our test component. Replace this selector part. Instead of simple app test, you write it within the square bracket. It is called attribute selector. And now we can use it as an attribute, HTML tag attribute. So see that how in the parent component, we are referring to the attribute selector. Now we are creating a div element and within, as part of the div element, we are defining an attribute called app test. So there are three ways to define the selector in Angular. One is the element selector, which is the simplest one. Then we have the class selector. And finally, we have the attribute selector. So there are three ways to define the selector. So when we want to use the attribute selector, in the selector part, simply enclose the selector name within the square bracket. So it is very simple. Enclose the selector name within the square bracket. And when we are referring it, use it as an attribute of one of the HTML element, any of the HTML element. So in the app component, see that previously what we did, we have inserted one div element and then we are using the class attribute. But now we are no more using the class attribute. We are using the directly the app test as the attribute of the div element. So see that there is no default attribute. HTML has no attribute like app test. It is our custom attribute. So in Angular, we can create custom attribute, we can create custom classes, and we can create custom element. Okay, we can extend the HTML. Standard HTML can be extended. We can create our own custom tag. Using selector, element selector, we can create the custom tag. Okay, and finally, there is a question that can we add JS file in app.component? No, we can use the TypeScript file. All the JavaScript code that you want to write, you can write it within the TypeScript file. Okay, app component is nothing but TypeScript file, which will be finally converted to the JavaScript file. So normally within our web page, we have JavaScript, HTML and CSS. So now the JavaScript we are writing as a TypeScript within our app component file. So again, in the next lecture, we'll see the example of writing more JavaScript code within our app component.ts file. Okay, fine. We'll stop at this point.